Hello, welcome to Game Over Gerkinman. I'm Gerkinman. This is part 5 of Donkey Kong Country 3. We got a mighty 2 parts to go after this. Obviously the people here are the same people who are always here, because I've trapped them here. But who have I trapped in my little Donkey Kong dungeon?
I'm unfortunately trapped here. I'm Adam, a game programmer and a Rare fan, so yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I trapped you with something you're a fan of.
Yeah. What sort of dungeon is it? Is it a rape dungeon?
No, it's just a Donkey Kong dungeon. So I don't
know.
know.
Okay, that's alright then.
That's not too bad.
I don't know what's in a Donkey Kong dungeon. Probably just bananas.
Yeah, probably just
as long as I'm not forced to play Donkey Kong.
Yeah. I'm bored out. Yeah, I'm here again, like usual. Let's do this. It's not a very big game, is it? Already finished it.
Yeah, pretty well.
It was big for 1996.
It's actually the biggest of the 3 games, but for some reason it's easier, so you breeze through it quicker.
Yeah, because of the 2 previous games, you just got the skills set up. It's like, yeah, I can do this. Also, I'm Cotton Water. Let's do this shit.
Hey everybody, it's Jess in the mirror. And fortunately, I am here. See what I did there, Adam?
It's so deadpan.
Unimpressed.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck you, hate this.
Have we talked about how... I know we've touched briefly on how people hate Kitty, but I mean, really, is he that offensive? I mean, other than the fact he's a baby, and he cries when he dies.
Babies are offensive. Get out of my video
He's not
game.
fun. He's not fun to use, is he? It's like...
I don't mind him, because he's the big guy. He's the tough guy.
I don't know, normally I'm not inclined to pick a female as a character. I'd usually choose a male, but in this case I usually just use Dixie Kong because she's better in all aspects.
See, I don't know, because I always kind of like felt like in Donkey Kong Country 2, as much as I love it, Diddy and Dixie, I mean, Dixie handles pretty much exactly the same as Diddy. She can just float when she jumps.
Yeah, she can spin around in the air.
Yeah.
That's cool.
With these,
Diddy is actually more agile than Dixie.
Yeah. It's not like a huge noticeable thing though, but playing as Kitty and Dixie, like you really notice how differently they play. And that's what the original Donkey Kong was like as well. I didn't think it was as big of a like a noticeable thing in the second one as it was in the first and third games. That could have just been me.
No, makes sense.
I like these levels. I like these TNT guys with hands. They're really trigger happy sort of level
They're
design.
just, hanging around.
Oh! I'd play some
Cracking out the jokes.
I'd play some Stranglers, but copyright. We don't want that. Yeah, these canyons. This music.
Yeah, this track has more of a David Wise feel, I feel.
Yeah, I reckon it could be. I like that Super Nintendo guitar synth they got happening there. Like it's trying to make guitar sounds, but it can't quite do it.
Yep.
That gives it a distinctive quality. At least I think it's trying to sound like a guitar.
Yeah.
It's got like that nice echo in there. It does, yeah, you're right. It does sound like a very David Wisey sort of track. I'd be interested to know, like, I don't think it was ever actually published which composers did which of the tracks.
Oh, for this game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just one chick.
No, it was David Wise and that chick did it together.
Oh, so
split
that
the
maybe
work.
that was a David Wise track, perhaps.
Yeah. At least I don't know of anywhere that has the soundtrack split up like that.
Not that I've seen.
Yeah, Adam probably doesn't know either. I keep thinking Adam knows everything, but then I'll ask him a question, and 9 times out of 10, he doesn't.
Thank you for finally admitting that I don't know everything.
Yeah, well, there are other
Don't ask me
games.
questions. It's just I don't know everything about everything.
Just because you're a programmer doesn't mean you're in the encyclopedia of every game.
No,
data.
it's more the rare, it's more the rare fan side of things that I thought it was.
Oh.
I'm sure there are other games. Like if I was to ask you anything about Banjo-Kazooie, you could probably answer it.
Yeah, probably.
And
then you ask me a question, and I gotta say, I don't know.
Well, you're pretty knowledgeable on Conker, so. There's only 2 of these levels, these toboggan things. Nowhere near as many of these as there were roller coasters and minecarts in the. Wait, there's only 2 minecart levels in the original Donkey Kong Country, isn't there?
Yes.
Is that 2 or 3?
I think there's only 2.
Hmm.
There's the one where when you jump, you lift the whole minecart up, and the other one where when you jump out of it.
Oh, yeah.
You die a lot more often. And this level's annoying.
Have you been to the kiosk yet, or or whatever you fucking
I did go to the kiosk in the last world because I needed to use the chairlift.
Oh,
Or the second
wanted to
last
see
world.
that, old friend.
Yeah, well, there are bears in this game. Some say that they're what led to the Banjo's design, possibly.
Oh,
Even though Banjo-Kazooie started out as a completely different game with no bears in it.
yeah.
Which Adam might be able to tell us
There's a
that
bear in
story.
this game, bear in that game, bears confirmed.
Bears confirmed for bears. What was it? That was the story behind Banjo, was it? It started out as like an action RPG on the Super Nintendo, and then kind of over time turned into a platformer for the Nintendo 64.
That's pretty much it. Basically, they were overwhelmed by how well Conquer 12 Tales played that they decided to retool their game into a platformer as well. And then, we all know what happened to Conquer.
Yeah, it took like 7 years to come out.
So that was a pretty interesting turn of events that happened there.
It is kind of funny that the game was turned into Banjo-Kazooie, and that was like within the first little over a year after the Nintendo 64 launched, and Conquer, the game that inspired that game, didn't come out until
2001.
yeah, the end of the system's life. It's funny how things happen like that sometimes.
Well, they scheduled to release it before Banjo-Kazooie, but it never happened, and they kept pushing the date, and then it disappeared altogether for like a year, and then Bad Fur Day was announced.
Game production is an interesting thing. I love hearing stories about that sort of stuff. How those
Yeah,
things
I
come
hope one
about.
day I can get my hands on Beta 12 Tales or something like that.
Do you reckon at least a ROM will get released one day?
I mean, it's possible. You never know.
Secrets are still always emerging.
Yeah, it's a secret area. It's never released as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Well, I know there was an NES game. Welcome back, Sean.
Oh,
You're marveling these barrel platformings.
yeah, it's pretty intense. You gotta time it right, eh? Otherwise,
It's
you're all the
annoying.
way back down.
I don't think I can think of a single game that has this, because this isn't the only game that has these sort of platforming levels with the lowering platforms. I can't think of a single one where it doesn't annoy me.
Oh, that's over.
Yeah, it was very quick. Just blasting through this game, breezing through it. This was that factory level I thought was pretty interesting, because it's got that target that chases you everywhere, and Squidder's back.
Oh no.
I like Squitter.
Yeah, I like Squidder as well. I think he's a cool guy. I like his sneakers. They refined his controls a bit in this game. He handles just a little bit better. Even
It's subtle, but it's there.
Yeah. I thought this mechanic was cool with the target chasing you around. I always thought when I originally played through this, I was like, oh wow, how is it doing that? That's amazing.
Code.
Simple things. Simple things back in those days were still really impressive. I'm sure getting it to
Yep.
work back then wasn't simple at all.
Something like that, you would just have to calculate the player's coordinates and then have it go towards it, and then after a certain amount of time, try to fire and then freeze it. I don't think it'd be that hard.
No. Well, never mind then. That's why we bring you on, Adam, because you know about the programmers.
Well, as long as you have the Super Nintendo dev kit and the source of this game, it wouldn't be hard to alter.
Super syntax. See that? That was a code joke, everybody. I'm here all week.
What?
That was my experience. That was annoying. Yeah, it's
How did that hit you?
because even though I'm on the web, because it's ground level, the molten pink, whatever that molten pink is, I don't know, hot bubblegum.
Acid bubble gum.
Acid bubblegum. It's something weird. Actually,
Gotta code that pink better.
it's one of those things where they obviously recolored all the background assets and everything, but it was just you could have left the lava, guys. The molten metal, that would have still made sense.
Well, maybe one of the palettes for the background also shared the palette of the lava.
That's true.
And since they had to change that, the lava looked like crap, and they decided to, change the altering colors to something that would kind of work, which is the pink.
Would you actually have to manually recolor all those assets, or would you just chuck a filter of it over it in the actual game that kind of recolors everything?
No, it's just a color set stored somewhere in the memory, and they just switch it and use the exact same graphics.
Can't do
Change
that.
the hues.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore in video games. Everything's got to be all big textures and polygonal guns, triangulated color scheme palettes,
Well,
science.
Unless you make one of those retro games on purpose.
Yeah, and you're
Yeah.
like I'm making.
Yeah, but then most
Yeah.
likely they would just make a duplicate of the same graphic,
Yeah, just
recolor
recolor
it.
Yeah.
Wasted memory. They wouldn't actually use the method of switching palettes.
Well, they wouldn't need to because the game would be brown because all games are brown now.
Pretty much.
Huh?
Well, indie games are pretty colorful.
Yeah, they're also all got pixel art. That seems to be all the rage now, is making everything with pixel art. I'm doing it because I'm using a game engine that's like really old. And it
This
like,
is
runs
interesting. You get to control this guy.
it. Yeah, you didn't remember this guy?
whoa.
No, I do not remember this mini stage.
The handle's really bad, I must say. But it is
I guess
kind
it was
of... Sorry.
Oh, let's have a mini game where you control the enemy, or something like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting little idea. I could have seen it making like a multiplayer mode. I guess it's using the same sort of principles as the boss fight with the snowman and the Crankies minigames. What were you saying, Jess? Before I rudely
I
interrupted
just
you.
said it looks like it. That's all.
Oh, you're not gonna win. Shit.
No.
Oh, he's gonna do it! He's gonna do it!
I gave up. I got one of them.
Yeah, he did it!
You got one, yay! So good at the video games. Oh boy. These levels are all
You
really
go back
long.
up. I'll find out anyway. So never
No.
mind. No, you do not.
Well, since I'm not 100%ing it, I wasn't going to try to do the bonus level again. But it was an interesting thing to stumble upon since I didn't do many or any bonus levels really.
Bonus levels are fun if they're on the way. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I didn't
I
go
don't
my
expect
way.
you to explore the whole area and try to find.
Not for this. If I was
That'd
doing
be
like,
unreasonable.
if I was doing a like 100% run through playthrough, I would obviously, but not for this show, which is all about getting through
not
stuff as quick as
100%.
possible. 105%.
Yes.
Sorry, I get my numbers mixed up sometimes. Would anyone be afraid if a spider with shoes come up to him?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, you asked that in the last
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Country.
Well, I'm asking, people's opinions might have changed by now. Because people wear shoes. You might think he's a people spider and he's an alright guy.
I don't wear shoes.
Well,
Imagine how
Oh, as long as mine.
spend time every day trying to tie all 8 shoes.
yeah, well, how does he even tie his shoelaces? These things are annoying and they're not animated and it looks really odd. I even thought that when I was a kid. I was like, they just kind of like they're static and they slide and it just looks weird to me. Because everything else is
I
so
don't
dynamic.
pay attention to that.
Well, they have an animation when they come out, but
Yeah.
they just...
Oh, you've already done this stage, I can tell, because that guy's got a trash can instead of a DK coin.
Oh, well played, Sean. Very
There we
observant.
go.
Do you like this sunset we got happening here? Now it's turning into nighttime. I always liked
Oh, yeah,
all these
they're
games like
animated.
that.
They're animated. It's just really
That's-
subtle 2-frame animation.
Fun fact, that's how fast it gets dark here in Canada in the wintertime.
The sunset lasts all of 3 seconds.
Yep,
Oh.
it's true.
That's crazy.
I'm not even lying.
Oh, I got the Kong letters. Good going me. Yeah, it's a good level in terms of like keep showing your toes. I died quite a few times on this stage.
Oh, yep.
I think
This-
I don't know if I completed this or not.
Oh,
No.
Wah, wah.
Now the sunset's back again.
How's
Yeah, it
that
took you a
work?
whole day to do that bonus stage, that's why.
We were trying to travel back in time.
The sun just went in reverse, now it's setting again.
And now it's snowing again. Well, I think we're almost up to this the boss fight, which is quite interesting in this stage. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, Snowman.
Blake's house, bro.
This is my favorite boss in the game.
Really?
For some reason, yes.
I can tell you right now that the D-pad controls can be a little bit twitchy.
I bet you this took you a while to do.
Yeah, it took probably about 20 minutes. before I actually got one where I got through all the way. It had a really bad habit of like when I was like moving left and right, like I guess because it really picks up on the subtle D-pad movements of up and down. Even though I'm just hitting left or right, it would jump up and down on the different levels, so I'd be lined up and then realize I was throwing too high.
Yeah.
And that was happening a lot, but that could just be the Wii U Classic controller.
Yeah,
the Wii
I'd say
Classic
so.
controller.
This boss is pretty tricky. It's a bit faster and it starts going boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it gets super aggressive. I like his 2 frames of animation. It's like something I'd do.
I feel like
Oh.
Kitty would be
I
everyone
didn't
that has
edit it
bigger
out.
snowballs than that.
I didn't.
Let's watch that again.
Let's see that again from the beginning in instant replay.
See, these games are good, especially when you're growing up as a kid. They actually challenge your brain to think of how you can beat a boss. You got to really think about the patterns and get used to it, and it's a good challenge. People think, oh, you know, video games, oh, they're bad for kids. Oh, it's not fucking good for them, but it really does teach them some stuff and gets them a bit smarter.
I reckon the pattern recognition sort of puzzles are a good thing.
Yeah, it gets your brain used to it. See, look at that! You're getting used to it. You know where to go.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, this is exactly what's going on, man. I'm a total boss.
Smash him.
I'm a magician. Wow, something really weird happened. My iTunes just started playing the Parappa the Rapper soundtrack and then crashed suddenly.
Oh.
Perfect.
That was really, really strange. It scared the bejeebers out of me.
What the fuck? Maybe it's trying to tell you something.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's trying to tell you, kick, punch, it's all in the mind.
Yes.
Well, that was very strange. The fact that it's going absolutely retarded, and oh, that means that it's getting picked up by the recording as well, which is fantastic. Even though I force quitted it like 5 times, and it won't stop reopening.
Perfect.
Oh my god. Anyway, look, he's having a heart attack.
Why don't you
Poor guy.
uninstall the damn thing?
iTunes, because I'm on a Mac and I can't, because it's built into the OS.
You must have it.
Anyway, that was just the Freezy Snowman place.
Freeze easy
Easy
peak.
for Easy Peak.
Yeah.
Freezy Badibi.
The spiritual peak.
That's probably true, actually. I reckon you might be onto something. There's a good chance that is exactly what that is. Maybe we can get into that with the next one. Actually, the next one's got that really nice, spongy, squishy guy boss. It's totally gross.
Oh.
Anyway,
Sounds like a good time.
sounds like a great time. So join us then for the second last episode of this amazing Donkey Kong Country 3 playthrough. It's going to be amazing. Come be amazed.
Absolutely.